and good evening. I'm Katie McManus, business strategist and money mindset coach. Welcome to my live, everyone. I am going live to the Facebooks, to LinkedIn, to YouTube, and to Twitter. And tonight, I want to talk about this thing that happens for everyone. Okay, this happens for my clients. It happens for people who talk to me but don't sign up for any of my programs. It happens to my mentors. It happens to myself. It happens to every human on this planet. Okay, now I just take a deep breath with me. It is the state of having so much more that you could be doing. There is always going to be so much more that you could be doing. Now, there are a couple aspects of this. I want to talk about the entrepreneurial side of this. I want to talk about the ADHD side of this, because it is a form of overwhelm that taps into shiny object syndrome. It shows up differently for the pure entrepreneur and for the ADHD person. And it is just a real motherfucker when the two get together. It is just the worst. So let's talk about what this really is. So it's typically, like, let me use an example. I have a client, I won't name who is constantly looking at other social media platforms and saying, oh my God, other people are getting clients here. I should be here. They're looking at other people in their industry, getting speaking gigs, writing books, running podcasts. And they're thinking, oh my God, like I could be doing that too. Like, that's just an opportunity that I'm losing. They're looking at other business opportunities that they could be, partnering on or taking a chance on, and feeling a massive amount of regret about all of these things. This client is not lazy. Okay. This client is working incredibly hard to build this business of theirs. They've chosen their social media platform. They're committed to their social media platform. They are putting themselves out there in so many incredible ways, and they're getting results. And yet I know, because you're like me, I just listed all those things off and I'm like, oh my God, I feel that. There's so much more I could be doing in my business. And I know because I talk to people every day about this. Shoes, words. I'm not sure what shoes means, but yes, I think you're agreeing with me. Anyway, I feel this all the time in my business, and I want to share this because I want to normalize that there is always going to be more that you could be doing. Okay. And that's not a bad thing. Okay. It's not a bad thing that there's a gazillion other things that you could be doing to grow your business. What that actually means is that there is a mass amount of opportunity for your business to succeed. Okay. If anything that you're doing right now, if some of it works, great. If it stops working at any point, there are all these other things that you could do to be more successful. Say you're trying something and you're building up, say you're on Instagram and you're building up your following and all this stuff, and you're getting a lot of engagement, you're building your audience, and for some reason it's just not clicking. The fact that there are so many other social media platforms out there, you can jump to another one. That's okay. I think where we get a little screwed up on this is that we see other people being able to do a million things at once. I know so many times I've heard clients say that they want to have like the social media presence of Gary Vaynerchuk. And let's talk about Gary, because I like him. I think he's great. He is, Lauren, you're feeling a little attacked here. Sorry. But let's talk about Gary Vaynerchuk, because let's own that this man has a massively successful business. He is able to employ a whole team of media managers who literally follow him around with cameras on him at all times. Hopefully not in the bathroom. That would be weird. But anyway, they're following him around anytime something even remotely smart comes out of his mouth. They're clipping that little bit of footage. They're sending it off to the studio, and the studio is putting it into a gazillion different kinds of social media posts, and it gets dispersed throughout the world across all platforms. Now, if you're starting a business and you're watching me, I can pretty much bet that you don't have that level of resources at this moment. Okay, I work with the beginners in this world, so welcome. That is just not attainable for you. Okay, even if you were to rig like some kind of robot arm that films you talking to other people, and you just randomly went around the streets where you lived and talked to people and said smart things, even then, you would then have to take it into post-production. You'd have to chop it up. You'd have to turn it into a bunch of different types of content. Those different types would have to be relevant to all different social media platforms, because what works on TikTok doesn't necessarily work on LinkedIn. And what works on LinkedIn definitely doesn't work on Twitter. I've never figured out Twitter because I'm not a short form person. Okay. Doing short form, I can't even say it. Doing short form content for me is torture, because I like telling stories. I like sharing. I like extrapolating. I like doing little side tangents. It doesn't fit on Twitter. TikTok is a new thing that I'm trying. Okay. If you want to go follow me, it's katie.kdhd. I know, very clever. But there I'm really practicing that short form element. And let me tell you, it's challenging. The other thing about this is that if you were to be present on all these platforms, when the hell would you be able to work with your clients? Like, when would you have a chance to run sales calls? When would you be able to network? When would you have time to write a book? When would you have time to reach out to events and conferences to get a booked speaking gig? You just wouldn't. Okay. That is a full-time job. Okay. So I'm using social media as the example here, but I want you to think about every should that you are giving yourself. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. I should be doing all the things. Could you actually do them? If you're looking at your last week of work and you're looking at your calendar and your schedule or your diary, and you're looking at what you filled your days with, is there a big, massive chunk of time each day that you weren't doing something? I don't think so, because it's not just your business that you're responsible for. It's also your life. Okay. It's just, you're not going to be realistically able to work 80 hours a week every single week. Okay. So the entrepreneur sees this as missed opportunity. It's missed opportunity. It's money left on the table. It's all these things that could be for the business. And it's really painful to let them stay outside the business. Okay. It's basically like having piles of money out in your yard and having a pile of money inside your house, and just watching the piles of money outside your house, knowing that at any point they could disappear. Okay. For the entrepreneur, seeing all these things that they could be doing for their business feels like that. Oh my God, I could just reach for the money and I could have it, and it would be so good and it would be so successful and all this stuff. But you just can't leave your house. Okay. Because you don't have time to. You're managing everything inside the house. Okay. For the ADHD entrepreneur, there's this added element of excitement. Okay. There's this added element of shiny object syndrome. That sounds exciting. I want to do that. Wow. That sounds so interesting. I want to play with that. Oh, cool. I want to figure out how this works, and I want to become a super nerd about it, and I want to go deep. And we all know that when you try to do everything, you accomplish nothing. Okay. For both sides, the entrepreneur, the ADHD-preneur, if you're trying to do too much, you're making progress nowhere. Okay. To make any progress in your business, you have to stay in the lane you've chosen for a while. Okay. It works. I'm going to use the example of social media, because this is one of the rules that I have for my one-on-one clients and for my group clients, is that if you are building a business and you are trying to become consistent on social media, and you're trying to build a following and an audience and get clients from there, you pick one social media platform to start. Okay. Because Doing more than one when you're just getting started, when you're still building that muscle of writing something or putting content together every single day, it just becomes massively overwhelming. Oh, and Kunal, I didn't see your post or your comment. I agree. There are guys out there who can make robots out of us. I don't know if that was my point, but yeah, it is. All the best. It's about to be dawn. Oh, go to sleep. What are you doing up? People all over the world. This is so cool. So where was I? Oh yeah. So on social media, the other thing is that like if you're trying stuff on LinkedIn, you're trying stuff on Instagram simultaneously, and you're not used to either one, what's gonna happen is your strategy is gonna become blended. You're going to start getting sloppy and like, what's the LinkedIn version of this that's gonna be successful? And what's the Instagram version of this that's gonna be successful? Okay. What you have to do in the beginning is you have to commit to one and get really fucking good at it. You have to commit to showing up, learning it, figuring out how you can authentically show up on that platform and be successful. Okay. Once you have that down, once you're getting clients from it regularly, once you are showing up and getting the results that you want, that's when you can jump to a secondary platform. That's when you can diversify your content strategy. That's when you can start playing around with different ways to show up in social media. It's the same for offering things, okay? Offering different services or products. I'm a big fan of diversifying your income and having a bunch of different things, feeding money into you. However, when you first get started, you have to have one and just one. Because here is the thing. If you are trying to go out there and promote, 7 different programs and services and products, the only thing that you're going to be successful at is confusing the crap out of your audience. Okay. They're not going to know how you're useful to them because they're going to constantly be seeing that you're doing this and you have this and you're doing this. Oh, and this thing, what's this? And they're not going to be able to firmly create this image of you in their head as the person who solves that one problem. Okay. You're going to be this person who's like constantly bouncing around from this, that, and the other thing. If they are your ideal client, it's going to be very hard for them to start feeling connected to you because they're not sure if you're the right person for them because you're doing so many different things. And if they're not the right client for you, but they know the right clients for you, they're going to have a hell of a hard time referring you to them because, you could do this and you could do that, blah, blah, blah. When people want to refer to someone that they care about, like a neighbor, a friend, a family member, a spouse, they only want to refer the best. They only want to refer the top tier experts. Greg, I love the closed captioning, bleeps out curses. Oh, it does. Oh no. I want more pictures of the puppies, by the way. I know they went home with their owners recently, but I would love more pictures. But yeah, bummer. I love my curses. I'm bummed that they bleep me out. Guess this is a professional platform. But anyway, where was I going with that? Oh, so a confused buyer never buys. It's as simple as that. And if your audience isn't clear on how you could be useful to them and how you can help them, they're confused and they're not going to become your clients. They're just going to stay pleasant connections that will occasionally engage on your posts if they find you charming. So here's what I want you to remember when you get into this state of overwhelm where you're thinking about all the things that you could potentially be doing and feeling bad about not doing them. Okay. I want you to look very realistically at what you're spending your time on every day and every week and every month. Now, if any of those things aren't delivering results, then I want you to very clearly assess if they are worth continuing with. Okay. If it's early stages, say it's a long game strategy like a podcast or a book, then it's something that you want to continue with because you're not going to know until about a year after, right? Or until the book has been published and you've been going out and giving it away and selling it. However, if it's something that should have given a return on investment by now and it's not, and I'm saying if you have not changed your strategy at all in the last 6 months, if you've just been plugging hard, the same strategy, the same messaging, showing up in the same way, and it's not working, that is when you need to go back to the drawing board. And that's when you can start looking around to all those should be doing this and should be doing that. And you can pick and choose which ones you're going to sub out for that strategy. Okay. I don't want you trying to do it all. Okay. You can't. Okay. You can't. You're a human. Okay. I can't wait for vampires to become real. Okay. I cannot wait for everlasting life and for youth and beauty for the rest of my life. My plan when the vampires come out of the coffin, as they say in True Blood, is to go and work out and diet and get in the best shape of my life for about 3 months, right? 3 to 4 months. You know, I want to do my hair exactly how I want it for eternity. And then I plan on getting changed. Okay. So that I can be in my best shape forever. You guys are going to think I'm nuts. But the beautiful thing then is that I'll have all this time and I'll have super speed, obviously, because vampires can go super fast. And then I'll be able to do all this stuff. But until that becomes reality, it's just not realistic. We can't do it all. Okay. And expecting yourself and shooting yourself to death that you should be able to do it, it's just unkind. It's just unkind and it's not productive. And here's the beautiful thing is you don't need to do it all to be massively successful. You don't. You can be massively successful doing a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of all the opportunities and possibilities that are out there. Okay. You just have to decide which one that's going to be and commit to it and do the work. Keshav, don't rain on my parade. Don't crush my dreams like that. It's not very nice. Okay. So this overwhelm of so many things is not bad. It means you have massive opportunities to be successful. You have to ignore most of them if you actually do want to be successful, in a nutshell. That's the live in like a 30-second bleep. Anyway, I want to thank those of you who've tuned in, Kunal, Lauren, Greg, and Keshav. And if I've mispronounced your name, I apologize. Thank you so much for joining. I will be going live again tomorrow and on Friday. Tomorrow I am hosting a pop-up training, the 3 steps to stop being weenie and finally make more money. If you want to join, I'm going to be posting about that after this live. It'll be on my LinkedIn page and all the stuff. It is tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern time. I hope you can make it if you're being a weenie and limiting how much money you're making. And other than that, I hope you're having an amazing night. And I look forward to being live with you soon. Okay. Bye, everyone.